Happy Saturday, everyone. This is your boy 12 Gauge. I thought I'd get on here this morning and just do a little podcast. I have a lot going on, as most of you know. I'm going to school, have a full-time job, have a lot of things on my plate, but for the most part, I'm able to balance these things and make my life stress and drama free. One thing I want to talk about today or this morning, I want to talk about self care and balance. You know, there's some people that don't know how to balance their lifestyles. And, when it comes to balancing your lifestyle, you have to, first of all, see exactly what's going on with it. Like what part of your lifestyle is causing you the most problems? Is it your finances? Is it your mental health? Is it the thing that you desire that you don't have that you view as important? When you break those things down, it helps you categorize the goals in which you attribute to gaining these things back into your life or to get them for the first time in your life. You have to start off with a process that is pretty simplistic, and you must be consistent at it. You must be consistent. You must have dedication, discipline, and always give yourself an update. Always kind of give yourself an update and say, hey, last week I was here. Today I'm here. I've gained this much in this short a time. Don't beat yourself up if you don't meet your goals. It continues to give you something to work towards. Many times individuals, when they start working out or something like that, they they hit the weights really hard, and they start to see the change. And when reach that plateau, because most of the time you reach a plateau because you're going too fast, the direction that you're heading, individuals tend to give up. They stop with the motivation. They stop with the goals. They stop with their ambition. So getting balance in your life is not easy, but if you're not a visual person and you see better by writing things down, write it down. Write your goals down. Take a daily inventory of what you've accomplished, what you still need to work on, and what areas are really still important and which ones aren't. Because as you're gonna see, you're gonna be letting go of a lot of things that just aren't as important as you figured they would be. And I know I just started talking. If this is your first time to my channel, I hope that you enjoy and find something that helps you out. Not only do I dabble a little bit into true crime, I love music. I love music concerts. I'm a licensed, I'm not certified, I'm licensed chemical dependency counselor, addiction. That is my specialty. On these podcasts, I give a lot of, you know, self help and motivational stuff in order to get people through their day or through their week. We all have tough times, and that's what these podcasts are for. They're not really politically correct. And everything that I say on here is just strictly suggestive. It's suggestive to you. If you're struggling, if you're having a tough time, you might try out some of these things. Um, Now that that's out of the way, this week has been pretty decent. It hasn't been as extreme as it's been. Um, since we're talking about balance and how to gain balance in your life, it's always great to have a person that you can bounce your ideas off of. Maybe bounce your fear or your situation that you're going through. Talk it out. Have somebody in your corner that understand, that really cares, where you can talk to them, where it's not such a hassle, where you feel that you're going through this all alone. You know, it's tough when you're stressed out, when you're doing too much for others, when you feel like you're not getting the reward that you feel that you should be getting. It's difficult. And many times, individuals, they tend to harbor anger and frustration when this occurs. And they tend to be angry all the time. They have short fuses. They feel like my life isn't as good as I think it should be because I'm comparing it to other people's. You know what? This is your life. Don't compare it to others. Don't gauge your success on other people's failures. And most and foremost, calm down and enjoy the ride. Give yourself permission to be the person who you are. I was talking with somebody last night. Those of you that know Jeff H. Um, I was talking to him on a chat, and I was discussing how, if you're only one dimensional, that eventually that one dimension will consume you. Like if you're strictly worried about bills and money and all these other things, eventually it will consume you because that's all you think about. That's all you worry about. By the time you're an adult, you should know that things are very unpredictable. There's a lot of things in life you can't control. There's situations in life that occur out of the blue. And if you're still around, that means that you've gone through some things, that you've made it, and you're still here. So every morning, wake up with a gratitude list. Think of a positive affirmation for yourself. And first and foremost, take a deep breath. Breathe. You'd be shocked how many of us in this world, throughout our day, hold our breath. Have you ever encountered a stressful situation at work and you start to get headaches and you don't know why? Focus on your breathing, see if that helps. See if that helps. Um, so there's a little bit of self help for you, a little bit of directional life skills to be able to start to get your life in order slowly. You know, this week with the combine, or it's still going on, the NFL combine. If you're not a football fan, feel free to skip ahead. But I'm a football fan. I like to talk about the things that are going on in the football world. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, so therefore that kind of there's a lot of drama going on with Chicago right now. Whether to keep or whether to trade Justin Fields, and it's really unclear which direction they're going to go. Justin played pretty decent last year, not as good as the year before, in my opinion. But I feel that maybe they should keep him one more year and bring in a backup veteran or something to mentor him rather than to draft a whole new quarterback and to kind of reset the whole situation all over again. Of course, we have the border situation still brewing. We had Trump and Biden down here at the border this past week. I'm not quite sure how that went. There's been cases being tried in the judicial system, and I've seen them on YouTube, but not really clicking on any of it to see um, what's going on there. I did go to court myself, not for me, but for a juvenile on Thursday. And last year, I was taken over to the court because I had just started my job, and I didn't have a clue all the wording, all the procedures, all the things that were going on. And for those of you that don't know, here in our state, if a juvenile is taken into custody, they're not arrested. They're taken into custody. That's the difference between juvenile and adult. So they're taken into custody, and you have 48 hours to do a detention hearing. So let's say they have a gun charge. They've been carrying a gun, or they were shooting at somebody, or whatever. So that is an offense that is high enough for them to get detained, which would be taken to detention. So you have 2 days to do the detention hearing on what you're going to do with this individual. So let's say you take them to detention, and then you go pick them up in 2 days. You go before the judge. You have your recommendation. Well, I'd like to hold him 10 more days in order to see what direction we want to go. Well, in those 10 days, you have 15 days to figure out what you want to do with this person, whether you want to put them in treatment, placement, or send them to TJJD, which is kind of like kid prison, I guess. Um, in our office, it's about wanting to rehabilitate the child. It's about wanting to do all we can in order to help the child succeed in the community. Because even though it appears to be one of those things where the kid wants to carry a weapon, it's illegal. So you got to figure out, okay, does this kid have support? Does he have stable residence? Is he of harm to community? Is he a danger to self? And does he have any kind of extenuating circumstances that would impair him to be at his best? So if you meet one of those criterias, then automatically, detention is a necessity for you. So we met with the judge. We I listened to the judge and how he broke all that down to the kid. And the kid was taken to detention for 10 days. So after 10 days, the kid will come back. They'll reconvene. Um, they'll discuss, I'm sure, his charge and what they plan to do with him at that point. Whether they're going to send him to one of the three places that I just told you about. Our, we had a couple gun charges not last year, but the year before. Well, I've only been here a year, so yeah, last year. They had these kids that were shooting at the YMCA. So each one of them was sent to placement, which is not to prison, but it's one step from it. Um, it's still a lockup. Anyway, those kids are still locked up, still going through the process. But what you need to understand, and this is for anybody, okay, not just kids. This is for anybody. The longer you have somebody incarcerated or locked up, the longer they, the more they lose their social skills and how to how to interact in society. Like, let's say that you were taken out of your comfort zone and you were taken somewhere that you've never been before, and it stripped you of everything that means comfort to you, and you learn to adapt in that situation, and then you were sent home. It would take you a while before you got used to the lifestyle that you used to have. You would automatically just slide right back in and be like, okay, I'm back home. I'm going to, because you don't want to do the same thing again. You don't want to get locked up again. So therefore, you want to challenge yourself and do something different. And that's what we attempt to do with these juveniles is we don't want to necessarily lock them up, but there are some that are a danger to the community and you have to lock them up. You have um, to be mindful of the community. You can't have these kids running around and breaking the law because eventually they're going to hurt somebody. They're going to hurt themselves. So you lock them up for a little bit so they can get a taste of what they've lost, so to speak. It's a very touchy area because juvenile justice is totally different than adult justice. There's a lot more that goes on into it. Um, but this individual is going to be back in 10 days and then go before the judge and then see what direction they're going to go with that. So that was a big part of my week. Um, as I told you on Wednesday, I go to the alternative school and I'm able to counsel kids that need help with their behaviors, with their issues. There's a lot of juveniles that are disrespectful, and I don't know how much of it is the upbringing, how much of it is just that they're used to being disrespectful towards anyone, including themselves. You know, if you don't have any children, or you have children, or nieces and nephews, or cousins, or whatever that are young, step up, especially if you have a good, stable environment, mindset. Step up, correct them. Don't give up on them because they only know what they know. They only know as far as they've aged. Like a 7-year old only knows what a 7-year old knows, even though many people give 7-year old the the application of being 13 and 14 because they can work an electronic device or something of that nature, well, they're still just 7 years old. Their rational thought process and their the programming that they have is at a 7-year-old level. That's basing that they don't have any mental health issues. They don't have any kind of cognitive issues or any kind of deformities. So let's try to get back into these kids' lives, where they don't face everything as a fight. Most of these kids, they don't even view themselves as as criminal minded. They don't understand what being a criminal means, like I just stole a car, I just did this, I just did that, but I'm not a criminal. Okay, that is a crime, so therefore you are a criminal. Um, but like I said, you can be a mentor to some juvenile and potentially even change the direction that they're going. Because unfortunately, it's not just inner city kids that are struggling these days. It's all children, all juveniles, in one sense or fashion. Even if you're high functioning, everyone has problems, and that's what I tell people: is everyone has some kind of problem that they deal with that is substantial to them, and they feel that they can't overcome it. So therefore, they go into their coping skills box and they get the best tool that they can find. And most of the time, it's during a fight or flight situation, and they deal with anger or running away. So you can do a lot by investing in a child, but make sure that you do some research on the individuals that want to be a part of your children's lives. Make sure that you just don't pawn them off on anyone that wants to take interest because, like we know, not everybody, not everybody has the right intent to be around the juveniles. You know, we've gotten to a society where hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. We've gotten to that point where we don't want to be a part of anything that doesn't involve us. I don't want to get involved. That's not anything that has to do with me. Well, with that mentality, we've allowed a lot of things to happen. We've had law enforcement that took forever to go into the school to neutralize active shooters. Um, there's been a lot of children killed because of that. And that goes into I don't want to get involved. I'm doing my job. I have my gun. I'm here for support, but yet I don't want to be the one that goes in and risks my life. Let somebody else do it. And I don't know where we got that far as a society where we don't want to risk anything to advance our situation. Active shooters. If you have a gun that you carry, because here in my state, you can open carry a weapon in a holster, just like the good old days. So if you see an active shooter and you don't use your weapon, then why do you have it on your hip? Why do you even carry it if you're not going to use it? I'm sure a lot of people would, but I'm just putting that out there. You wouldn't carry it if you weren't going to use it. I don't want to get involved. I don't want to get sued. Da, da, da. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to get involved. Sometimes you got to do something that you don't want to do in order to assist humanity. And the weekend is upon us. The weather seemed to be pretty stable in some areas. In some areas, it seemed to be pretty cold. Wherever you're at, I hope that if it's enjoyable, that you're getting some sunshine, some vitamin D, if they say. If it's cold, I hope that you bundle up and the spring eventually gets there. One thing that I'm glad about is that I don't get on here and I bash other people. Most of the time, I keep people nameless because not that I don't want to call them out, but that's not my job. Like they say, you don't like something, just turn it off. Switch the page. Scroll past it. It's that simple. We go back to the age old adage you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. That can help out in a lot of situations. Sometimes it's better just not to say anything at all. I've yet to eat breakfast this morning. I haven't had my coffee. I haven't done any of that. I just thought I'd get on here and speak because obviously I had a lot on my mind this morning. Even if it doesn't make a lot of sense, I've had a lot on my mind. Um, I don't really know what I'm going to do with myself this weekend. Just next week I'm on call, so therefore I can't really leave. I might go out of town here in a little bit and just go look at some stuff. I'm definitely going to work out at some point. Um, if you read Jeff H's community post, we are planning on possibly doing a live on Sunday around 8:30. Um, we're going to do something a little different. Jeff's going to play his instrument, hopefully, and give us some insight on how to play an instrument, how to start off if you want to learn an instrument, things of that nature. And then we're going to talk about the Idaho 4 case, but we're not going to do it in the sense where we're going to go deciphering it down to the basics. We're basically going to talk about our own personal journey through the time that we spent researching it. We're going to talk about the kids. We're going to talk about the house. We're not necessarily going to talk on the defendant. Obviously, he's part of the deal, but we're going to try to stay away from him as much as possible. I hope to see you guys there. I hope that we have enough people in the chat that we can actually answer any questions that you might have, or even bring you up on panel to get to know you a little better. Um, if you don't know, Detective John was one of the one panel that I came on a couple times, and he gave me my shot to really put my name out there a little bit, put my thoughts and beliefs out there a little bit. And if you're a praying person, I'd like to hold him in prayer because I've heard he had some situational event that, he could use some prayers. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, that's how I got my start. And I read a comment this morning about there's a lot of YouTubers that are popping up to discuss about the Idaho 4 case. Well, I didn't get this channel started for the Idaho 4Ks. If you look on my channel, there's a lot of concerts that I was going to, and I was uploading the music from those concerts onto my channel because I needed a place to save them because they take up a lot of space on your phone. And they also, if you save them on Facebook or some kind of social media like that, you can't retrieve them. They won't let you have them back. They will, I mean, you can repost them, but they won't let you have them back. So I don't want to post something that I can't keep. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And once college football starts up again, I'll probably have another element of it where I will be going to football games and I'll be documenting the experience. So if you've never been to a college football game, Division One, you'll be able to understand the lunacy of it all. You know, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty intense. So I will probably be cleaning up my channel and putting things in folders so it'd be a lot easier to find. Right now, there's just a lot. You know, it's pretty clear to be able to decipher because the concerts are at the bottom, the true crime and the substance use and the podcast are all in the middle. So I hope you find something that you enjoy, something that you can listen to. I try not to bore people. I try not to go past 30 minutes. Usually, I know I've gone an hour and almost an hour the last couple of uploads, but on these podcasts, I like to go about 30 minutes unless I have a co host. So hopefully, one day I'll have a co host and we'll be able to go back and forth on some good things. You know what I mean? So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Take care of your family, take care of yourselves, and be vigilant out there because this world in which we live is not like the world that some of us grew up in. Try to mentor somebody through your actions so that they can see that it's not necessarily about you wanting to change them, but they wanting to change to be emulating your positiveness. So the more positive that we are, hopefully the more positive it changes the world because there's a lot of negativity out there. For my new subs, welcome. My subs that have been commenting, thank you for the comments. Keep them coming. I love hearing your thoughts. There's no such thing as a bad comment or this, that, and the other. Just keep it classy. You know, you can agree to disagree. Not everybody's going to agree. And that's fine. That's what we're about. We're human beings. We should know how to deal with disagreements. But until next time, guys, take care. See you around.